Let's talk about the word forgiveness. So many people like to put the burden upon the victim of sexual abuse, whether it be childhood sexual abuse or maybe abuse in adulthood, that victim has to forgive their abuser. And the burden of the abuse, the burden of healing is all upon the victim. The predator seems to walk away unscathed by what they've done, and the victim is left holding this bag of self hatred, shame, humiliation, blame, uh, depression, anxiety, PTSD. And then for people to come along and say to a victim, you need to forgive your abuser. They just have no idea what they're talking about, and they have no idea what they're doing to that victim. They're just adding more burden to that bag that they're already carrying. I've had 3 therapists, and not one therapist has ever said that you need to forgive your abuser. I've had all my spiritual guides, whether it be Father Griner from the Episcopal Church, or Pastor Bob Meek, or Chaplain Hank Tino, um, or Pastor Tom. Not one of them have pulled me aside and said, Clark, to be a good Christian, to heal fully, you need to forgive Dennis Pegg for raping you. None of them have said that to me. But people who have said it to me are uh, supposedly really good Christians who really know what you need to do in order to heal, and you need to forgive your abuser. Well, you're wrong. You don't know anything about therapy. You don't know anything about faith. Um, I don't need to. I don't need to forgive Dennis Pegg for raping me. I don't need to forgive Dennis Pegg for abusing my brother, or scores of other children in our area, many who committed suicide, many who have led self-destructive lives, and many who we don't even know about. And I don't need to forgive Dennis Pegg in order to have a healthy, happy, productive life. It's complete insanity for anyone to say otherwise. So you're just heaping more burden on the victim, more burden on the victim. The victim already has a mountain of burden simply to stay alive, simply to try to have a somewhat productive life. Their burden is extraordinary. And then for anyone to say you need to forgive your abuser is completely wrong. And that's my opinion. I've had people reach out to me who said in order for them to heal and move forward, they had to forgive their abuser. And that's fine. That's that's coming from the victim who's deciding that, not from a third party who's telling the victim how they need to live their life. Those of you who have not walked in our shoes should really keep your opinions to yourself and let the victim figure out uh, if for their own mental state and their own healing, they need to utter the words, I forgive you. In my opinion, forgiveness should be set aside solely for the victim to forgive themselves. Because normally, we blame ourselves for what happened. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? Many victims, when they're a child, did I entice this person somehow? So we're racked with blame. We're racked with shame over what happened. Self-hatred, self-loathing. And then as we find ways to cope with all of this pain and shame and self-hatred, it may be self-harming. It may be cutting. It may be anorexia or bulimia. It may be drug addiction. It may be alcoholism.